This is a lesson in be careful what you wish for, because you never know what's going to happen. So I have a patient and works at McDonald's, and all of a sudden they're getting paid $20 an hour. That's pretty good for a McDonald's job. So I'm walking past Wendy's here, that is not known for its customer service. And this patient says, yeah, I'm getting $20 an hour. And I was like, well, you don't sound too happy about that. Why not? And they said, well, because they replaced us with these kiosks. So now when you come into McDonald's, you don't order. You know, when you were a kid and you worked at McDonald's and you had to say, welcome to McDonald's, how may I help you? And you learn these good customer service skills as a teenager during your summer job at McDonald's. Well, that doesn't exist anymore. You've been replaced by a computer. And I'm like, oh, so you don't take orders anymore? And he goes, yeah. And they also, because they're getting paid more per hour, they cut their hours. Well, be careful what you wish for, and be careful how you vote. Because on the flip side of this is going to occur again, and I see this happening right now. Everybody wants free healthcare. Nobody wants to pay anything. Okay, so vote for the guy that says you get free healthcare. Here's what is happening right now. You go into Quest Diagnostics for blood work, and you're not greeted by a person. You're greeted by the kiosk, and it's not even greeted. You just have to know how to do it. I unfortunately, and my wife, we don't always stick the landing. So we've been in the hospital. We went to Los Robles in Thousand Oaks, where there's a lot of money. And you go to the emergency room and there's no one at the front desk. It's a kiosk, and you have to push in, what's your emergency? Yeah, free healthcare. The big question is, if you vote for free healthcare, and I'm not saying that, I'm not telling you how to vote, but what's happening is someday my office manager is going to be replaced by a computer. Because if the government forces me to pay her $100 an hour, I'm simply going to have to raise my prices, or somehow or another just have an app or a computer take your appointments and do those things. And that's happening at an emergency room, at a blood draw place. All these things are happening. And that's what happens when you ask for $20 an hour. There are no jobs. This is the sad part. There are no jobs for teenagers anymore to learn the skills. We all have, maybe not all of us, but we all have experiences as teenagers working for a park, or working as a camp counselor, or working in a fast food place. And this is where we learned that, holy crap, I do not want to earn, $2 an hour for the rest of my life. I always felt as though that the best job for a kid is a fast food restaurant. Because if you want to motivate someone to go to college and they're earning $60,000 a year, why the hell would they go to college? Nah, screw you, Dad. I'm not going to college. I'm already making a ton of money as an influencer, showing my breasts and shaking my butt on Instagram and TikTok, right? How are you going to convince kids to get an education or do anything better with their lives if they're earning a ton of money somewhere else? But they're not earning a ton of money. And you know what? TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube is saturated with people showing their breasts and showing their tush. And you're not making that much money anymore at it. There was a time when McDonald's was hopping back in the 70s and 80s. You can go in there was a line. Kids were having birthday parties there. And now it's just depressing. The future will be just like the Jetsons. Remember the Jetsons, where you get all your food from a computer? There's not going to be any customer service. So I'm not sure what the message here is anymore, but that's what's happening. You try to make a McDonald's job a career for a 16-year-old by paying them $20 an hour, and guess what? They're going to be replaced. There are no customer service jobs. There are no teenage jobs, because all a teenager wants is a little bit of pot money and a little bit of play money to go play video games. But that doesn't exist anymore, and that's troubling. So what are your thoughts on this? Maybe I'm just totally freaking wrong, and maybe I'm just too cynical or something like that. I think children need to work, and they need to work hard for play money, not a livable wage, so that they can understand that these jobs are entry-level jobs. These aren't careers. Flipping burgers shouldn't be a career. It should be a stepping stone. The American dream is to come here to America and flip burgers and work your way up and eventually own the place, or get an education and get a job where you can work harder and smarter. I don't know. Like I said, what are your thoughts? Yeah, it's getting tough in the world. Too bad. I'm glad I grew up when I did.